All right, so we are here to discuss Monday Night Football between the Steelers and the Browns. Now, obviously, the big thing to come out of this game was Big Ben playing what is likely his final game at Heinz Field, his final home game as a Pittsburgh Steelers. But what a game it was for him to go out on. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't good, but it was a gritty win that they were able to push forward, get the victory, beat the Browns 26-14, and it feels weird to see Big Ben possibly be gone because of all the years that we've all watched him play football, all the years that he's played great, to never having a losing season in his career, to the Super Bowl win against the Cardinals on that miraculous last second throw to Santonio Holmes. I mean, that's the first time that I really and truly saw him play a football game, and I was only 7 years old, I think, at the time, so I wasn't very old when that play first happened. And then to play Madden 2010, which was really the first Madden game that I played, and I know he wasn't on the cover of it, but I mean, the Steelers were the team I played a lot as, is because I was younger, and the Steelers, Troy Polamalu was on the cover of that game with Larry Fitzgerald, and so that was the game that I played a lot. So to see Big Ben go, it is gonna kind of it kind of stinks to see because you see all the battles that he put up against over the years, him against Tom Brady, the games that he played against Peyton Manning, all the games that he played in his career, the two Super Bowl wins that he has in his career. To see him leave, I mean, it is gonna stink, but at the same time, you look at this season and the way that it's been going for the last few years, to be honest. I think it's time for him to go. Like, I think it's safe to say it was time for Ben to go. Like, you look at this game as a whole, and if we're getting into this game was not pretty at all. If we look at the Steelers side of it, Big Ben was 24 of 46, 123 yards and a touchdown. Like, it was not good at all. And the Steelers offense as a whole was pretty bad to watch. It was not good whatsoever to watch. Now, the run game, Najee Harris had a really good game, 28 carries, 188 yards, 6.7 yards per carry, and a touchdown. Like, I think this is easily Najee Harris's probably his best game as a pro. Like, this was a very good game for him. But the game, like, if we look at the pass game for the Steelers, it was atrocious. The Steelers' offense at times was atrocious in this game. Their third down play calling, when they're behind the sticks very far, it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, and to see them constantly dump the ball off 2 yards, a yard behind the line of scrimmage, like, that has literally been their offense the entire year on third down, and it's hard to watch. Like, them throwing screen passes on a third down, it's really hard to win a football game when you're not pushing the ball down the field. And they run the RPO with Ben, and one of them resulted in a touchdown tonight, but that was it. Running the modern day offense for Ben just seems slow, and you look at this season in the last few years, and it just shows tonight that I think it's time for him to go. Does it stink? Yeah. Is he one of the easiest and funniest guys to be memed, to make fun of, to laugh at? All of that, yes. Like, everything that he's ever done, it makes it really easy to laugh at Big Ben for everything that he's ever done in his career. Like, it really and truly is. Like, this guy gets made fun of all the time, and I think, it's fun. It's funny to do. He puts himself in those situations, and it's Big Ben. Like, that's just who he is. But just look, this game for the Steelers wise, offensively was not good. And you're thinking I'm talking like they lost. No, they won this game on their defense. Man, their defense was just absolutely insane in this game. It went complete God mode. They sacked Baker Mayfield 9 times in this game. 9 times. TJ Watt had 4 sacks of his own. Like, TJ Watt had a monster game. And TJ Watt, I think, needs more recognition for Defensive Player of the Year because in 14 games, he has 21 and a half sacks, and he's one away from tying the all-time record. And some people are saying, oh, the season's longer. No, he only has one more possible game to do that. 15 games, he might break the record. The NFL used to be always 16. Now it's moved to 17. He was injured, and now he's only going to play 15 games in a 17-game regular season. So TJ Watt would have obliterated this record probably if he would have played every single game this season. 21 and a half sacks, 4 sacks tonight. He completely took over. Their defense was great. And I mean, their defense at the end of the game, where Najee Harris, we thought would have the walk-off touchdown. The Browns would keep the ball forever. They come up clutch. They get the interception, and Big Ben was able to get that final kneel down in his final home game as a Pittsburgh Steeler. So that was really, really cool that their defense one more time made a big stop to allow Big Ben to come out on the field, get that final moment with his team and the fans, everything else. That was really sweet and really, really cool to see after the football game. But the Steelers as a whole offensively, like, they obviously in the future have to change things up. I mean, they do have the smallest chance of making the playoffs. They have to beat the Ravens next week, and you have to have the Jags beat the Colts. And just as a side note, if the Jags beat the Colts, it can cause absolute mayhem in the Sunday night football game, because if the Chargers and the Raiders just tie that game, they both make the playoffs. So there's really no incentive if the Jags beat the Colts to play that football game. So that's just another side note. But the chances of the Steelers making the playoffs almost slim to none. But again, their offense, something's got to change. They need a new quarterback. The quarterback, Big Ben's too slow for the NFL nowadays. He can't move. I don't like their offensive coordinator. I think Matt Canada, his play calling absolutely stinks. Like, it feels like the Steelers have about 4 plays that they run every single week. They run that deep fade. They run a slant. They run a screen pass. They run the ball with Najee Harris. Like, the Steelers offense is just, it's terrible. It's predictable, and it's not good. It is not a good offense whatsoever. But you look at how bad the Browns offense was in this game, it makes it look like the Steelers played like an elite level team today. Like, I don't know how people can defend Baker Mayfield anymore. I really don't. I think there was one point I looked at the stats and I knew Baker was having a terrible game, and I don't hang my hat on stats 100%. Like, I think the eye test is definitely a good way to go when watching a football game, because I think the eye test can show you a little bit more than stats can. At one point, Baker Mayfield was like 1 of 10 and had an interception and only 20 yards. Like, it was Baker this season, and I don't want the excuses of injuries to be a thing anymore. I don't. Because he's been playing with these injuries for a majority of this season. He's had many opportunities to get healthy, get it fixed, and get ready for next season, play that 5th year, and then next year go full steam ahead into hopefully that big contract. But I just think as a whole, Baker Mayfield this season lost himself a lot of money. I think in this game, he definitely didn't improve his case whatsoever. Baker Mayfield was hot garbage in this game. Baker Mayfield stunk. He missed receivers. The Steelers punted, and immediately after that, 1 play later, he threw an interception. Baker Mayfield is not a good quarterback. I don't even know if he's a franchise quarterback anymore. Like, he's that bad. Like, the numbers that he has been putting up all year long. That game that Case Keenum played against the Broncos is literally the same numbers that Baker Mayfield's been putting up. So I don't think the Browns as a whole are really a much different team if Case Keenum's starting or Baker Mayfield starting. I really do not think so. And Baker was bad. The coaching staff was absolutely horrendous. I was watching the Manning cast most of this game, and Peyton Manning was just he was about to have a breakdown, a meltdown, because Nick Chubb wasn't in the game most of the time. Like, the amount of times that the Browns were throwing on first down tonight made absolutely no sense when you have a all-pro, elite level running back and you're throwing on first down. The amount of times they did that just makes absolutely no sense to me. They're misusing Nick Chubb completely. If I'm Nick Chubb, I'm completely irritated because this dude had only 12 carries and 58 yards. That's almost 5 yards a clip. That's very good at running the football. That's very, very good. And the fact that they didn't continue to use him just made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Kevin Stefanski, I'm starting to think that he's not a very good coach, and just the Browns as a whole, from destroying the Steelers to getting last year in the playoffs to getting their first playoff win in years to nearly a year later losing to the same team that you killed in the playoffs. And it's looking like your franchise has completely regressed since that playoff game. Like, the Browns are in a terrible spot right now. Baker Mayfield doesn't need to be there anymore. The coaching staff needs to be talked to because they're not using Nick Chubb right. it's just so frustrating to see a lot of talent go to waste and to see the excuses that Baker Mayfield gets on a constant basis. It's really, really frustrating to see all the excuses that people make for Baker Mayfield. They were blaming OBJ at one point because Baker was force feeding Odell, and I'm just thinking that that's not how that works. Baker Mayfield's the quarterback. He's supposed to be the leader of the offense. He's supposed to guide the offense. He's supposed to put them in the best spots possible. And if the quarterback is force feeding somebody the ball, that is on the quarterback. Every throw that the quarterback makes, it is on them. I don't know why they blame receivers for this. Yeah, OBJ may have dropped a few of those. Maybe, they weren't connecting on some plays. But to blame OBJ for the failures of Baker Mayfield, it just makes absolutely no sense to me when Baker Mayfield is a quarterback and he is the one that guides the offense and can decide when, where, and who gets the football. So I don't think Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback. They completely misused Chubb tonight. Their defense is still a very good unit, but when you have Clowney just taking a shoe off and throwing it, which resulted in the Steelers' first touchdown of the game, it was just too many mistakes by the Browns. Obviously, their season was over before this game even started, but this game just kind of resembled their entire season in one game. It was bad. It was terrible. It was Big Ben's final home game. Kind of cool to see the send-off that he got. Really glad that he got the win in his final home game as a Pittsburgh Steeler. And the Steelers beat the Browns 26-14. Give me your thoughts down below of what you thought of this game, and I'll see you in the next one.